Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channel. Today is episode number 239, and for the next 30 to 45 minutes, we will be discussing the state of Hindu temples today. And and we have with us, besides Dr. Subramanian Swamy, we have with us Sri T.R.Ramesh, who has been a former bank executive, got involved in February 2009 in freeing temples from government control when Dr. Swamy took up the Chidambaram temple case. He has done extensive research on the subject, particularly relating to Tamil Nadu government's control of Hindu temples. He started filing multiple cases in this regard before the Madras High Court. He got declared by the High Court that the executive officer of Palani temple is functioning illegally. The government appeal against the judgment failed before the division bench of the High Court, yet the executive officer continues. He has obtained many interim orders and final orders protecting temple traditions, structures, and properties. He credits his success in temple matters to the training he has had under Dr. Swamy. So, with these words, we welcome you to our show. And as you know, we are discussing a very important topic. And as you all know, our guest, as well as Dr. Swamy, has been in the forefront walking their talk on saving temples from government control, while others who came to power on Hindutva are neglecting the very issue. On the contrary, they are the first to take over temples. So, these words, it is over to Dr. Subramanian Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. I'm also here to hear T.R.Ramesh because he's been consistently getting success after success in Tamil Nadu. We're very happy that he's doing so. And today we'll hear a small commentary in the sense he's done so much, he has to contract it. So, but anyway, we want to hear his experiences. First of all, I'd like to say that I've written a book which is just published called Constitutional Framework for Hindu Rashtra, and where I've dealt with a little bit about the temples and so on. It's not fully devoted to temples, but it's devoted more to the Hindutva cause. And I have another one coming on Vishwaguru, Hindustan as Vishwaguru. And that will come probably July, or not July, probably in around November. And so these really describe in great detail the Hindutva cause. So in temples, of course, are included in that. So what I would like to say, first of all, because I've also come here to listen to Ramesh, so I'll be brief, is the first point I would like to make is most of the temples, I would put it in the 90%, most of the temples taken over by the government are in a mess. And this is, you can go and see it. For instance, go to one I'm presently the Bombay High Court on, the Vithal Gurukmani temple, two temples. After government's taken over is an utter mess, and largely because the government has taken it over. In Uttarakhand, government took over, that is on the direction of the Prime Minister. The BJP government took over all 102 temples of Uttarakhand. I went to court, and in the court, I got the relief, and then the government understood what is ahead, so they withdrew. Now the temples are free. But how can a BJP government, which in its manifesto says that temples should not be taken over by government, and those which have been taken over since the British times and later, they will all be returned, but they have not done so. They have done the exact opposite. So this is something which I think The state of the temples is the job of the government to run temples. The Savannagar temple case, which is called now a, a landmark case. What it is my case versus the state of Tamil Nadu. What the Supreme Court said is that if there is a financial management, not religious matters, if there is any non-religious matter which requires an intervention of the government, then they may take it over for a brief period, like financial one, rectify it, and return it back to the temple. But that's not happening, you see, except for the Savanagar temple. And I think that the Karunanidhi probably got a little scared. And then when I threatened him with the dismissing of his government, and I'd done it before, so he wasn't sure I couldn't do it again. So then he returned the temple, and today is Savanagar temple in Tamil Nadu. Shiva temple is going on very well without difficulty. So I would say the first of the thing that the any temple taken over by the government is by by and large a flop. And therefore, the temples must get out of the thing, except when there is some financial mismanagement, cheating, so on. That time they can get in on that particular concept. Now, take the case of Ram Janmabhoomi, which is 100% government temple. The land was bought by the government, the building was being done by the government, everything. But what do you see there? You see all kinds of difficulties. Today, the thing is leaking. Tomorrow, something will fall. And there are many things they have to rebuild. And the government built temple is not yet, it's far behind the schedules that they had set. And today we find a situation where it is leaking, bricks are falling, and all these kinds of things. In the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, for which we fought in the Supreme Court, at least I fought it with the help of the knowledge that it is my fundamental right to pray where faith tells me Ram was born. If it was just another temple, I couldn't have got the result I got. But I said that my faith and the faith of the Hindus say that Ram was born where the masjid stands, and therefore the masjid has to be demolished, and that Ram temple has to come. Same thing will come when the Krishna temple, which also Aurangzeb demolished and has built a mosque on it, that mosque has to go. And Kashi Vishwanath temple also, the Mughals, before the Mughals, the other marauders came, and when finally Aurangzeb came and said that we will not only demolish the temple, but we will build a masjid on top of exactly where the temple stood, so that the Hindus will not rebuild the temple. And that is still to be liberated. It is in the constituency of Mr. Modi, who wants to take credit for Ram Janmabhoomi, but he is unable to, in his own constituency, do anything about it. Now, I would also like to add that we found that there are a number of temples which have been there for centuries. For example, the Savanagar temple that I mentioned to you, which Karunanidhi declared that he will put a cannon and blow it up after taking it over. And it was a thing that, of course, he had to suffer misery for that. The Supreme Court gave him such a whack. But I'm saying that this temple of Savanagar was built almost 1,000 years ago. And these people came from, many of these people came from North India also, and built a Shiva temple there. Of course, there are other deities also. So Savanagar temple, which is sold, has not required repairs at all. It's still standing solid. And so the temples all over the country which were built without the interference of foreign powers or the Muslims or whoever the Mughals, etc. These are still existing, and you can see them. There in Tamil Nadu, you can see many such temples. So I don't think we need the government at all, because the people have shown that they are capable of doing it themselves. Now, in the Constitution of India, Article 25 and 26, there is no scope for government takeover of temples. All that it says is that if there is any secular mismanagement, like finance and so on, the government may take it over for a temporary period. And it was re-emphasized in the Sabanagar judgment of the Supreme Court, Subramanian Swamy versus the state of Tamil Nadu, that as far as the religious parts are concerned, the government will not touch. They don't touch anyway the Muslims, masjids and so on. They don't touch the Christian churches and so on. But somehow Hindus, which the British were, of course, very keen, because they didn't want the Hindus to congregate. And so we have continued that, partly because of what I would call as greed for the temple's jewels and so on. Why was it the Krishna Rukmani temple or that was taken over? What was the reason for taking it over? I am in the Supreme Court. I'm in the final stage. I hope to win it. What is a huge crowd that comes there? Huge crowd. I mean, the devotion of the people is unbelievable, and they are all Brahmins. Some DMK man will say, "Oh, these Brahmins, they can come for temples," but these are very ordinary people, cultivators, so on, who come there in the temple. So, what we are doing is the Congress Party followed the British policy, and they wanted to put the Indians down. Sardar Patel to build the temple, which was demolished. Somnath temple, that is Shiva temple, which the Muhammad Ghori and so many others built it, demolished it repeatedly as the Hindus rebuilt it. But when the independence came, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Patel said he will build it, but Nehru said, no, we are a secular country, we will not build it. So Sardar Patel said, go to hell, I'll build it with my own collected sources. So he raised the money from the public. Then our president, then President Rajendra Prasad, he also turned up, and Modi, Nehru, there's not much difference. Nehru then, rebuked essentially the president, but the president said, I don't care. When it comes to my religion, I will give it all the respect that is necessary. So he also came and participated in that. So let me then conclude by saying that the Uttarakhand example, where 102 temples were taken over by Mr. Modi's fatwa, the Uttarakhand government. I went to court, and the first thing I did was get the box which contains all the jewels and so on to be separated and given back to the temple. And after that, Mr. Modi lost interest, and the government of Uttarakhand was directed to return all 102 temples. Every one of the temples was nationalized. Then it was returned once I took away the treasury from a court order. So I would say that what disturbs me is that BJP came to power in its manifesto stating that we will release all temples. But we are finding in state after state the so-called Hindutva leaders of BJP, they are grabbing temples. The latest, I got a shock of my life when I recently went to Prayagraj for a court case, that the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Adityanath. He is supposed to be a sadhu himself, and he has taken over 6 temples on behalf of the government. I couldn't ever believe it. How can a chief minister who wears bhagwa kapda and pretends to be a great spiritual leader, and he is doing this, and he's doing it now. He didn't do it before. He's just got corrupted in office, or he's got a megalomania. I don't know what the problem is. I would say that if not the BJP, the RSS should direct the chief minister of UP return back. And I must tell you another thing. In Ram Janmabhoomi, BJP lost the election where we built the Ram temple, fought for it. There, Mr. Modi went campaigning, saying, I did all this for you. Of course, he did nothing. But people didn't believe, and the candidate of Mr. Modi was defeated. So, what I would say is that we have a long term goal of being a Vishwas Guru, but time has come to be very, very strict about those politicians who have this greed for taking temples and misusing the power of the state. And we should now rise in revolt against it around the country. So, by such programs like the SETI, we can add and add and add, and the country will ultimately come out of the streets for this if necessary. Thank you very much. Over to you, Jagdish.
Yeah, I think our guest T.R. Ramesh will enlighten our viewers with his views, especially focused on what he has been doing in Tamil Nadu. So he'll enlighten us and have some perhaps chart and diagrams to give us an idea of what loot is happening in Tamil Nadu. Over to T.R. Ramesh.
Thank you, Jagdish ji. Namaskar, Dr. Swamy. Um, if Dr. Swamy remembers, in 2010, the then Tamil Nadu government filed an additional affidavit in the Chidambaram Sabanagar temple case. In that, it was stated, we have taken over 2 temples of Matadhipatis and have appointed executive officers. One was the Kanchipuram Kamakshi Amman temple, and one was the Agnishwara Swami temple of Kanjanur, belonging to the Madurai Adina. So when Dr. Swamy went through that affidavit, he directed me to get the orders by which executive officers were appointed for those temples. He said, I still remember those words. He said, this could be a double-edged sword. Let's see what is there in our that favors us, our arguments. So when I applied for the copies of the orders appointing executive officers to Kanchipuram temple, a temple belonging to Kanchi Kamakoti Mutt, the officials would not even reply. And I made appeals after appeal, and then I went to Kanchipuram itself and confronted the executive officer there. And he confessed, there is no such order ever issued. And this was an eye-opener. And this was the same case in Kanjanur also. Then I started filing multiple applications under the Right to Information Act. And today, I would say, I have the RTI information pertaining to 400 temples, for which in Tamil Nadu, for which the HRNC department is not able to show proof of the order appointing an executive officer under any valid provision made for the first time to the temple. Now, since then, I have filed 2 cases, one concerning 70 temples, including Kanchi Kamakshi Amman temple, and Srirangam temple, and Madurai temple, and Payani temple, etc. And 47 other temples, which are, again, small and big temples. In none of these in both these petitions, the government could not come back and say, no, he has questioned 70 temples, here are 7 temples, we are searching more. Or he has questioned 47 temples, we got 36, we will give 11 more, something like that. Nothing. They have not been able to show a single order. That means the Tamil Nadu government is controlling these temples only by a fraud on the statute. In 2020, when I challenged a tender issued by the Palani Devasthanam, Palani Dandayathamani Swami temple, the cash cow of HRNC department, a temple that gets about 500 crore rupees as income every year. I presented a case before the learned single judge that the executive officer is sitting here by fraud. His term came to an end on 13/12/1951, the original Sabanagar temple judgment. The judge, after extensive hearing, declared the position of the executive officer in the Palani temple as illegal. The state government and the HRNC department panicked and filed an appeal and got a stay. But the Honorable Division Bench did not accede to the request to set aside the order. Instead, it said the trustees have been appointed, that the executive officer hand over and go. But till date, the executive officer continues in Palani temple, which is not only illegal but also contemptuous. So this is what the Tamil Nadu government is, whether it is AIDMK or the DMK or before Congress, they continue to thrive on committing contempts of court and fraud on the statute. Now, like Dr. Swamy said, what is the condition of the temples which the government controls? Is it at least good, fair? It is not so at all. In Madurai, in 2018, an ancient mandap, a mandap of with wonderful structures, works of art, it got burned down. It came down crashing due to a fire accident because the illegal executive officer gave the place to hold many shops which were selling from balloons to mobile phones inside the temple. The temple tradition was not respected. The temple structures were not respected. Something happened and the whole mandap was burned down. So far, no action has been taken. Now, HRNC sees it an opportunity to rebuild the mandap at a huge cost and at a huge commission. In the last 3 years, the DMK government has come up with plenty of fancy civil work announcements because they feel that up to 40% commission could be got in these civil work contracts. Unnecessary constructions, commercial complexes, wedding halls, all these are constructed taking money from rich temples. And these are things which are not allowed under the HRNC Act. They wanted to build an old age home residence, saying this is a charitable thing. But the Act doesn't allow that. And the Act says what you can do with the surplus funds only after getting objections and suggestions from the public, after advertising in the newspaper, calling for objections. There's so many procedures. The Act, in some respect, is a good Act. But the way the DMK and ADMK government was enforcing it is totally against the Hindus. Today, in Tamil Nadu, the aim of the government seems to be twofold. One is announce very big civil work projects leading to hundreds of crores. In fact, 1,200 crores they have announced in the last budget. Get hefty commissions by carrying out these contracts. Then deplete the funds of the temple. Kapalishwara temple in Mylapore, which had 80 crore rupees 3 years ago, has got only now 60 crores. Now they want to build a college in the constituency of Stalin, the chief minister, using Kapalishwara temple funds. I got a stay of 6 colleges they plan to do. There is one more college that is being sought to be built in Vilatikulam, that is coming in the Tuticorin parliamentary constituency, which is the constituency of Kanimozhi, the sister of Mr. Stalin. They want to announce secular projects with the temple money. They will ensure that the temple loses the money, loses its property. This seems to be the agenda now. Recently, I got a stay order because Tamil Nadu government wanted to build a Tamil cultural center in a very valuable 200 crore rupee property of Kapalishwara temple by spending 28 crores of the temple. And I'll just give you what all construction works they are imagining. They are coming with 10 memorials for dead elephants of temples. Can you believe this? They are building a memorial for the elephant which served in the temple. And each of this memorial costs 60 lakh rupees. This is daylight robbery, looting.
It looks like it's more expensive than that elephant.
It is. And why does one need a memorial for an elephant? If you go to Guruvayur, as you enter the sanctum, that place to have darshan of the Lord, you will see two large white tusks. Those white tusks are the tusk of Keshavan, a famous elephant which was there in Guruvayur temple. That is a beautiful memorial. You don't need a civil contract and then a cement structure. This is utter nonsense. But that is what Tamil Nadu government is doing today. They are interfering with the religious things. They want to take over the Chidambaram temple again by hook or by crook. But they know that the Supreme Court will give them a slap, and again the matter will be led by Dr. Swamy, and they cannot. So they're trying to give the Dikshithas all sort of troubles. I would say there are, besides the apathy and the ignorance of Hindus, there are three main reasons why temples are still under government control. One is the politician, the second is the babus. Third, I would even blame the courts. Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati filed a case in 2012, and till date, there has not been a proper hearing of the matter. A fully fledged hearing has not happened. In 2021, Supreme Court included or implemented the central government because the honorable judges in 2021 felt that the fundamental constitutional rights has to be the same across the nation. It cannot be given in part in one state, in another a different part or different rigor in another state. So the center has to answer these questions. So they implemented the central government. And not surprisingly, for some of us, and surprisingly for many who believe that BJP is a Hindutva party, the government has not filed a reply till date. 3 years have gone by and they have not filed a reply. The matter. And Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati is supposed to be the guru of Modi ji. In 2014, Swami Dayananda Saraswati came in person with his frail body and ill health and gave a memorandum to Modi ji. And one of the 7 points were there in the memorandum, if we remember correct. And one was freeing of our temples. The central government has powers because this is a concurrent subject. Ramesh, if you can put the slides, I will just show the depth of the government control in Tamil Nadu. Thank you. The number of institutions have gone up from 36,000 to 46,159, which are under government control in Tamil Nadu alone. The same number of institutions are there in the undivided Andhra, that is Telangana and current today's Andhra. And government is controlling mutts even after the Shirur Mutt judgment that mutts cannot come under the government control at all. They're still controlling. And the second slide will show that many of these temples are having less than 10,000 rupees annual income, which means they are getting. Ramesh, the next slide, please. That means the temples are getting less than 800 rupees a month or less than 30 rupees a month. With 30 rupees, you can't even buy 1 liter of milk or a dozen bananas. You can't even pay the pujari a BPL salary. Why do government require an executive officer or an HRNC official to control these temples which do not even get 30 rupees a day? This is pure denial of the rights of the Hindus. And are they doing a good job? The answer will be in the kind of audit. See, first of all, in Tamil Nadu, the temples are not subject to external audit. Even though the Act says there has to be an external audit, it is not happening. Income Tax Act says if your toll year registration is there and you're getting more than 2.5 lakhs a year, you have to be audited by a chartered accountant in a particular format. That is not happening at all. I filed a case in 2020, and in the last hearing 2 months ago, the first bench, the Chief Justice asked the HRNC department, what are the qualifications of your auditors who are doing temple audits? They said they will come back. They're still searching for the qualifications. They're not come back. So, Ramesh, one more slide is there about the number of audit objections pending. Yes. This is the staggering amount of audit objections pending. 1.8 million audit objections pending from 1986. the amount is 1,549 crores, but it will be much, much more. But if 1.8 million audit objections are pending, what is the message that is being given to the executive officers and other officials at the HRS? Loot as much as you can, do whatever you will. There will be an audit objection, but nothing will happen. That's the message that is being passed. And the general public are not aware the rot, the level of deep rot in the temple management. Dr. Swamy said in the beginning itself, the temples administered by the government are not doing well at all. In Andhra, in Kalahasti, a 500-year-old Rajagopuram fell down, came crashing down, because the government allowed a lot of lodges and hotels to come near the ancient structure. Borewells were sunk in. The entire structure was disturbed. I had to move an urgent petition before Honorable Madras High Court, because in the temple land, before the Rajagopuram, in Tiruvannamali temple, the fabulous Rajagopuram, they wanted to build 150 concrete shops, HRMC, and for that they're taking the temple money. Luckily, the Honorable Division Bench in Madras High Court, hearing temple matters, they took up the matter quickly and they stayed the operation of the GO. Again, near Madurai, they were replacing an ancient fort surrounding the temple with an ordinary compound wall because they want contracts. And central government, with one legislation or one notification or one signature, can make a huge change. They're not doing it. If you take the 2024 manifesto of BJP, you will not find the word Hindu there. The word temple occurs 3 times, and it relates to renovations done in some 3 temples. Where is renovation in 3 temples? Where is the freedom of 300,000 temples? The Kashi Vishwanath temple, that case which was quoted in when the Supreme Court was hearing Savanai temple, it's a very bad example of abject takeover. Why did Yogi not remove the tag when he came to power? Now he not only not removed it, he is taking more temples. And Dr. Swamy has to come again and retrieve them. One of the worst endowment acts passed by a state in independent India was the Uttarakhand State Act. Highly arbitrary and leaving nothing at all to the Hindus as their rights regarding Hindu temples. 10 years we waited, nothing happened. And even if we wait for 5 more years, I don't think anything will happen with the mindset this government has. They don't seem to worry about the fundamental rights of Hindus. I would request Dr. Swamy to find a way that the Swamiji's, Puja Swamiji Dayananda Saraswati case is taken up quickly, and Dr. Swamy's intervention in that matter is also heard fully. But then there's also this 9-judge bench by which the Sabarimala matter would be reviewed. In 2021, in Chennai, there's a temple called Besanagar Varasiddhi Vinayak Temple. In 2021, a learned single judge, Justice Anita Sumant, gave a fantastic judgment based on the Chidambaram temple judgment. She said, even if you're taking it for curing the mismanagement, you cannot take it permanently. You have been there already 5 years, now get out. You have become a functus officio. HRNC did not leave. They filed an appeal 2 years later. Now, Honorable Division Bench of the first bench of the Madras High Court agreed with the learned single judge and said, your term is over, get out. They have not gone, even now. More than a year has passed after the division bench judgment. If they have not gone out of Madurai temple, Tiruchendur temple, Tiruvannamali temple for 70 years, why will they go out of other smaller temples in 2 years? But it appears that the contempt of court is the least powerful powers of the court, or the most neglected power of the courts. I do not know what to say. I'm a layman. I'm not a legal luminary like Dr. Swamy, but this shocks me, this surprises me, this leaves me with a very bad taste, that courts are not putting their foot down and restoring the fundamental rights of Hindus. I don't expect the BJP government in the center to do it, but I would love to see the courts do it at the earliest. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Dr. Swamy, your comments, Dr. Swamy first. Then I have one question for you.
Well, there's no comment. It's very sad what he said, and every word is true because I personally know it, and I know his dedication, and so he's doing it almost all alone in a wild place called Tamil Nadu. So
I have your blessings, Dr. Swamy.
yeah, naturally anything happens, I'll be there.
And your protection.
Of course. No question about it. I'll even topple the government if you want. But they better not touch you. But the thing is that what is this mentality that a man like Amit Shah or Modi, having come to power on the Hindutva wave, behave in this manner? I mean, they did it in Uttarakhand. I raised it with the Sangha people. I raised it. I said, they have done it. They said, what can we do? It's the same thing in Maharashtra. The Fadnavis is involved. He in fact, once, you know what they have done? That Pandharpur temple, the Krishna, the temple which they have taken over, they kicked out all the pujaris. And in one place, even Fadnavis went and did the puja, as if he's a pujari. I didn't know that damn thing, but he did. Of course, I'm hoping that the Bombay High Court very soon will judge. Even if they go to Supreme Court, they are not going to get relief. I am 100% certain. But the fact is that the governments which have come to power on the mobilization of Hindus, they are doing this. And I gave you the example, the shock I have got, because I have known Aditya Nath for a long time. I knew his guru, Gorakhnath Temple in eastern Uttar Pradesh. And they were such devotees, and they fought for temples when they were alive. Now this man who's the Chela, and now I become chief minister, and he's behaving like this. So I think we need to understand, look at some way by which an action is taken by which they get their just desserts. I mean, I'm working on it, but it's too early for me to speak about it just now.
Dr. Swamy, I have one question for you. I mean, we have different states having different HRNC acts.
Yes.
I don't trust this Modi government will do it, but is it possible for a central government to nullify all these acts, and does it need a parliamentary approval?
Certainly. In fact, Ramesh just mentioned it, you see. The central government decides on an act, it can overturn anything else which is contradictory to it, you see. That is the important thing. But that's a very long way off. You need a different government. That government which will be committed to Hinduism, not just lip service. See?
Even that is gone now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, lip service still here and there, you see. But
it was in the manifesto, no longer in the manifesto.
Yeah, they've taken it off the manifesto.
The word Hindu is not there in the manifesto.
Yes. Absolutely. So we may have to have a movement, and that's a possibility.
Center can change a thing with a notification. Doesn't even have to make a law.
That's right.
Certain things can be changed.
Okay. Just a notification, they can nullify all these HRNC acts.
In certain respects, yes.
Yeah.
They have a central act, 1920 Central Act. All they have to do is add a few sections there. That's it.
You must ask Arvind now his view. Silent.
Yes, डॉक्टर स्वामी एंड मिस्टर रमेश, एक प्रश्न मैं हिंदी में पूछ रहा हूँ। एक प्रश्न जो मुझे हमेशा उद्वेलित करते रहा है,
हाँ,
बराबर चाहे वो केंद्र की सरकारें हों या वो राज्य की सरकारें हों,
हाँ।
मंदिरों का जो अधिग्रहण है वो करती आ रही हैं। बड़े मंदिर की तो बात समझ में आती है, जैसे तिरुपति का मंदिर है, उज्जैन का महाकाल मंदिर है, वैष्णो देवी है, दूसरे जो बड़े बड़े मंदिर हैं जहाँ पे लाखों रुपए का चढ़ावा रोज आता है। सरकार इंटरेस्टेड है कि सरकार उस फंड का अपने इस्तेमाल करे। लेकिन जो छोटे मंदिर हैं, अभी रमेश ने जो उदाहरण दिए, टी.आर. रमेश जी ने, कि ऐसे मंदिर भी हैं तमिलनाडु में जहां 30 रुपए, 40 रुपए, 50 रुपए उनका चढ़ावा आता है, और एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर अगर उनके लिए नियुक्त होता है तो उसका जो खर्चा सरकार उठा रही है, तो इसका मतलब सरकार घाटे को उठाने के लिए भी तैयार है। तो ये मोटिव क्या है? बड़े मंदिर का तो मोटिव समझ में आ सकता है। What is the motive for the smaller temples to be taken over by the government where there is no funding involved, where there is no money involved, where there is no income involved? Why is government doing it, and why various governments are doing it?
Because they'll take the land and then sell it to somebody.
But can this land be sold like that?
If the government is doing it, then you're going to go and challenge it.
Between 1986 and now, 50,000
Yes.
acres.
And that income has gone to government of Tamil Nadu.
No, we don't know to whom it has gone. In 1986, government records show that temples had 5.25 lakh acres in Tamil Nadu. Now they are saying we have 4.75 lakh acres.
It cannot have gone without government complicity in it. They would have got a bribe in it.
Yes, and why should government have control over temple that is getting less than 30 rupees a day?
Yeah.
The answer may not be direct, but I know who will be happy if the government controls these temples also. The conversion mafia will be happy.
Yeah.
Because if a village temple is taken care by the locality, they will be loyal to the temple, they will take good care of it. Then other places of worship will not come there. Today,
so can we conclude that conversion mafia is ruling over all the temples through state government?
Especially in Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
डॉक्टर स्वामी, अभी आप प्रयागराज गए थे, आपने बताया, और योगी आदित्यनाथ के आदेश से कुछ मंदिरों का वहां पे अधिग्रहण हुआ है। वहां क्या केस है और किस प्रकार के मंदिर हैं ये, और क्यों सरकार ने इसको टेक ओवर किया है?
ये तो अभी मुझे नहीं पता है, मैं तो केस डाल रहा हूँ, उसके बाद पता लगेगा। मैं ये जानता हूँ कि अभी पता लगा, मुझे जाने के बाद पता लगा, उसके बाद ही अखबार में आया। किसी को हिम्मत नहीं थी पहले, उसको कोई पत्रकार जाकर पूछे ना उनको, आप भगवा कपड़ा पहन करके सरकारीकरण कर दी, ये कैसा हुआ? और मैं गया था क्योंकि एक मंदिर को, जो छोटा सा मंदिर था, एक महारानी का एस्टेट में था, उसको ये लेने के लिए आदित्यनाथ आ गए थे। तब मैंने जांच की थी, तब ये सपारा पता लगा। मैं तो केस डाला हूँ, अब केस जब चलेगी तब देखेंगे, और तब तक ये आदित्यनाथ चीफ मिनिस्टर होंगे कि नहीं, मैं नहीं जानता।
And I'm told,
just
Dr.
one more
Swamy,
question, Jagdish.
Yes, Jagdish.
One more question related to this. If the government is taking over these temples, not only for the funding, but government is also showing the control by creating the facilities in the name of pilgrims, in the name of creating facilities such as corridors. For example, they started with Kashi Vishwanath. They built a corridor there. Now Mathura Vrindavan is also on the target radar. Kamakhya temple is there. Ujjain temple, they have done it. So they are trying to build these corridors. Basically, it is a real estate or going into construction business. Why should government be interested in construction?
These corridors are at the expense of demolishing the mandirs on the way. Our country's strength has been these chota mandirs all over the place.
Correct.
And by the way, Modi gave us a warning when he was chief minister. Ashok Singhal came to me with tears in his eyes, सिंह जाके उसको बोलो कि वो मंदिर तोड़ रहा है. So I spoke to Modi at that time. And he said, वो सब यानी सड़क पर बने हुए. ऐसे कितने सालों से बनी हुई है, उसके लिए दूसरा जगह दे दो, इसे वो तो बाद में देखा जाएगा. तो mentality is there. I'm surprised. How can they be called Hindus? And that too in a country which is become freed due to the struggle of Hindus. You must know all the sadhus and sannyasis were the first one to start the agitation against the British. You see,
Yes.
Aurobindo.
इवन इन काशी विश्वनाथ जब ये निर्माण चल रहा था तो काफी संतों के समूह ने इसका विरोध किया और अभी भी विरोध करते आ रहे हैं. कुछ लोगों ने तो ये कहा कि नरेंद्र मोदी को जो वोट वहां कम मिले हैं बनारस में, इस कारण मिले हैं कि लोग नाराज थे कि सैकड़ों मंदिरों को लगातार तोड़ा गया और बिना किसी कर्मकांड के तोड़ा गया. उनको मूर्तियां उठा के सिर्फ फेंक दी गई, कोई नाले में पड़ी है, कोई इधर पड़ी है, कोई उधर पड़ी है. तो इस प्रकार से हिंदुओं को नाराज भी किया. और वृंदावन मथुरा में जो प्रस्ताव है उसका भी यही, कई मंदिरों को तोड़ा जाना है तभी रास्ता बनेगा.
आप तो सही बात कह रहे हैं. मैं ये कहता हूं कि लोग मुझे पूछते हैं कि आपने 228 सीट्स ही मिली गई, सबसे निकट था वास्तविकता से, ये कैसा आपको पता लगा? क्योंकि मैं जा रहा था, घूम रहा था, तो लोग मुझे कह रहे थे स्वामी जी क्या हो रहा है ये, आप एक तरफ राम मंदिर के लिए लड़ रहे हैं कोर्ट में, यहाँ तो मंदिरों को तोड़ा जा रहा है. तो इसीलिए हुआ. और मोदी का भी देखिए कि 5 लाख की मार्जिन से जीतने वाला आज 1 लाख से ही जीता.
यस.
डॉक्टर स्वामी, अरविंद चतुर्वेदी ने और बाकी लोगों ने एक सवाल किया था कि उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या हुआ है जिसके लिए आप प्रयागराज गए थे और इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में आपने PIL दाखिल किया. तो मेरी जानकारी जो सही है, मुख्यमंत्री के ऑफिस में ये ऑर्डर निकाला गया, कोई नए एक्ट के मुताबिक नहीं, मुख्यमंत्री के ऑफिस में ऑर्डर निकाला गया कि ये मंदिरों को लिया जाए. तो ये तो मनमानी है, ना कोई एक्ट है, नो कोई रूल एंड रेगुलेशन का फॉलो हुआ है, और मुख्यमंत्री के ऑफिस में ये ऑर्डर निकाला और उसको आप चैलेंज कर रहे हैं.
नहीं, आपकी बात सही है. तो वो तो एक्ट में ही लिखा है कि एज डायरेक्टेड बाय द ऑफिस ऑफ द चीफ मिनिस्टर. यानी ये तो राक्षस बन गया है.
Dr. Swamy, the Congress government in Karnataka has taken, copied the corridor, looting. Now they are taking over the town of Chamundeshwari in Karnataka. And while taking over the town, they are taking over the movable and immovable properties of Chamundeshwari temple also. A very arbitrary act has been recently passed.
There's a Congress party.
Congress party. And I don't think BJP can condemn that.
If you can't control your own party, how can I go and talk about the Congress?
No, I'm saying that
if you want, I can join Congress and then fight from inside.
This is the latest act. They are going to make this a temple town within courts.
There are no commitments at all. And there are all kinds of people. They have no can't regard, you see. And so when money is involved, they care a damn, yes. So I personally feel that what we need now to do is the awareness. Our friend here has been doing it in Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu unfortunately has a very bad history, so he has got an uphill task. And I think I must say I have indication. I hope it doesn't reflect badly on him from the Prime Minister's office, that the Madhya Pradesh government has sent me word. I won't tell you who sent me word, that we would like your cooperation in seeing that all this is nonsense, and we will like to liberate all temples which are presently with the government. It can be done in 5 minutes job. It's only a government order that is needed. And but people are damn scared. in even when this the previous chief minister was there. That time there is a Saraswati temple in Madhya Pradesh. Dhar. It's the Saraswati is also called by a different name. There was a
Vagdevi,
Vagdevi, yes,
Bhojshala mein, हाँ.
that's right. And it was a beautiful statue. The British took it away, and it was put in the British Museum. So I went there, and I saw it, and I asked them that how can you have this looted property? You want it back? They said you get a letter from the government of India, and we will give it happily back to you to take it back to India. When I came to India, the central government said, that was the Congress government, they said, ask the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh. So I asked the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh, and he told me that, बड़ा मुश्किल का काम है, दंगा हो जाएगा, this thing. I said, on that basis, and continued to refuse to do it. And he's supposed to be a great favorite of the Hindutva crowd, but on this, on something, all I wanted is that statue brought back and put where it was. But they're saying no, there will be a riot because just outside the temple there is a masjid. The masjid was put much later. So I'm sorry, I don't think we have yet genuinely had a freedom movement in our country.
Dr. Swamy,
Dr.
one
Swamy, I have
final
Go ahead.
final question, Dr. Swamy. You had filed a PIL in 2018 in the then Hyderabad High Court, and then it got transferred to the Andhra High Court. And the PIL is regarding freeing of Tirupati temple from government control. And partially you have succeeded. You got the CAG to audit the accounts.
No, I got two things done. One is the CAG account, which I must say, the chief minister was just lost and gone. He implemented it. I told him he has to implement this because. But the other one was to free the, and this is a general problem which Ramesh also should apply his mind, and maybe we can have a seminar on it. This real other point was that the High Court said we are ready to declare that Tirupati cannot be taken over by the government, and we'll get it released. But who do we give it to? Tirupati was constructed in 1933, and the people who constructed it are disappeared. I don't even know where their families are.
It was taken over 1933.
Taken over in 1933.
Taken over in 1933, excuse me. So how can I? So today that petition is still pending, waiting for me to come back and say, give it to this person for this reason. I asked Swami Anand Saraswati, and but the problem with him is, he had was that people were ready to come and take it, but they had no locus standi. Couldn't have gone to court with it. So, this requires actually, if I can get the central government only the portfolio of HRNC.
Religious endowments.
In no time. It'll take me 2 years. I know how to scare the hell out of these people who are in the way. But everybody has some hidden vested interest. How can you be called a good Hindu if you are betraying your own country, your own religion?
Dr. Swamy, Tirupati is a very, very special case. We need to really look into it. Half the solution lies in the suggestion or solution you have given in the Travancore Cochin Devaswam case, where you have, in your written arguments, you have given an alternate model structure that can be slightly edited or improved upon and brought in for Tirupati also.
You give me a first draft,
Also,
then
very
I'll.
important case which you're handling is right now before Supreme Court. The Travancore Cochin Devaswam temples matter.
Yeah. It's not been listed yet, but it's there.
Yes, that's a wonderful case where I think you're going to make a huge impact.
Yeah. If you can give me a proposal in writing, I can.
I will put my mind, Dr. Swamy, and you can review it and improve, give suggestions to improve it.
In my case, I got the original builder of the temple, the Travancore Raja or kingdom, and
Yes,
it's the descendant is Lakshmi Nalapat, and so I can certainly speak through her. I can speak to the king, the Travancore king. We still call them that, although we have Indira Gandhi had demolished it. But still, they're called like that. But they've done a lot of good work. So they say you come with a proposal, we'll do it. And
we have already filed the proposal in before Supreme Court. Gogai was going to take it up seriously, but then the matter was not listed.
no, there's a lot of forces. You will be surprised. Lot of forces.
So,
If I hadn't been so hard-knuckled man, they would have crushed me long time ago.
indeed.
Dr. Swamy, I have a question related to a law which central government and the state governments have.
1 minute. I said I dismissed the DMK government, and people told me there'll be. But Karunanidhi himself told me, you do it, there'll be rivers of fire, rivers, there'll be killing. Not even one. The cycle was burnt. Huh?
That was January 91.
In 91, and Karunanidhi, and you were in government with me at that time, and so was Jagdish. So, and Karunanidhi went and hid in Kanimuri's house with his two wives. So, I know all these people. Once the power of the state is brought in for a good cause, people just side with you, and the bad people have to run.
Yeah, Dr. Swamy, I was asking this question because there is a law in central government as well as state governments follow the Waqf properties. Anything to do with masjid, anything to do with Muslim, or anything to do with Islam religious thing, a property belongs to a Waqf board. No government can touch any property which goes to Waqf board. Now, a Hindu government, can they not bring a law or act like a big board for Hindus that any temple which belongs to Hindus, no government can ever touch it because it belongs to Sanatan, whatever name is given to this board.
And Modi went to Middle East and did Sastangam Dandavat there. So, it requires a mindset which you haven't got yet in Indian politics. And if you do get such a mindset, I will say you're too rigid. You will not. You should be flexible. Should be, shouldn't be on this. I get this advice all the time. I say I cared a damn. I left a professorship at Harvard to come to India, not so that I can be a chaplus here in India.
Arvindji, you can conclude.
Yeah, before we conclude, both Mr. Ramesh and Dr. Swamy can answer this brief question. My brief question is, for example, Supreme Court gave the orders to the state, to the central government to form a trust for the Ayodhya. Similarly, there are trusts formed by the governments, whether they are central government, for example, Somnath, central government controls it. But who will be the nominees? Naturally, government will put the names of those people who are favorable to the government. So basically, ultimately, it belongs to government in any case.
No.
So what is the solution?
The Ayodhya judgment in that respect was flawed, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. After now, we know what Modi had in his mind. It's not Sardar Patel. See, and once Sardar Patel took over that temple, all the others except Jawaharlal Nehru They all supported him, and he ensured. And even today, although there has been a lot of, after Modi took over as chief minister, a lot of this kind of you scratch my back and I scratch your back. But still, it is run in a way which is independent of any other influence. Anyway, you have to conclude.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ramesh. You came to our program after a long time. And I remember last two or three occasions we were discussing the something related with temples only, and the Savanakam temple also. And you have been a fighter all along. Dr. Swamy has led this fight all over the country, whether it is Pandharpur, whether it is UP, whether it is Kashi Vishwanath. He even has gone to the court for the Puja Vidhek in 1991, what Narasimha Rao government had brought in. So these things, these are important things, but unfortunately, there are not many fighters for this cause in this country. जो संतों के द्वारा काम होना चाहिए, राजनेता पीछे रहे, संत आगे रहे, तो संत समूह भी आगे नहीं आ रहा. कुछ दयानंद सरस्वती जी का नाम आपने लिया, एक्सेप्ट 1 or 2 people जो मठ को बिलोंग करते हैं या जो संत समाज का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं. But other than this, the saints have also been in the background all the time, and perhaps that is the reason the government is not taking it seriously, and government is only doing, as Mr. Jagdish Shetty said, only lip service. The government, of course, claims that they are Hindutva government for last 10 years, but they only do lip service for the Hindutva. If we analyze, nothing has been done in last 10 years, and we don't hope much in the next, I don't know how many years this government will go to last. So whatever. So it basically remains, the fight remains with people like Dr. Swamy and Mr. T.R.Ramesh. We hope something will emerge. अभी आपने प्रयागराज का जिक्र किया, पंढरपुर की आपकी जो संघर्ष है सबको पता है, विठल रुक्मिणी मंदिर का. हम आशा करते हैं, we hope that your fight will come to a fruition and Hindus will get their right. With that, we come to the end. Thank you very much for participating in this program. Thanks, Ramesh and Jagdish also. Our technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Tejas Navalgul, Swaminathan, Vishal Mehta, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Gurdat Shetty, Ajesh Nair. We'll be meeting again with a new topic next Sunday, 8 p.m. in the Indian Standard Time. Till then, all viewers, Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai